on a day when, after many weeks of damage and destruction in the India-US relationship, finally there are some nice things being said. It started with President Donald Trump calling Prime Minister Modi his very good friend and indicating that negotiations are on between the two countries towards a mutually acceptable trade deal. Prime Minister Modi reciprocated, calling India and the US close natural allies. Is this a big thaw, or is this just a small little breather before things go south once again? And I use the word south advisedly because I come to you from the city of Bengaluru. And frankly, on a day like this, as we try and interpret what this unfreeze between Modi and Trump really means, the city of Bengaluru is extremely crucial, because even as things appear to be softening somewhat between India and the US, and we never jump to conclusions when it comes to Trump, there is relief here in the city of Bengaluru, because this is the country's IT hub. And remember, even as Trump takes things down a notch, calls Prime Minister Modi his very good friend, his attack dogs, people like Pete Navarro and others, are continuing to be very, very hostile and combative towards India. Not only are they attacking India openly, they've been threatening something that is unthinkable: tariffs on the IT sector of India. India's IT hub here in Bengaluru has been watching anxiously as this entire situation actually plays out. So the question now is, between Trump and Modi, are we going to see a real handshake? Are we going to see a new dawn in this friendship? Can India ever really trust Trump again? And as far as India's biggest exports and industries are concerned, can we return to an era of some predictability, or are we forever cursed to be in the world of Trump? I want to show you, since I'm in Bengaluru, some very important data. Because here the IT industry, which is worth many hundreds of billions of dollars in IT exports from India every year, there has been anxiety, there has been unpredictability and uncertainty over whether the threats being openly bandied by Trump officials, influencers, advisors will actually turn true. Could that be a nightmare scenario, or has Trump provided some relief by talking kind words for the first time? Check out this data that I've got for you. India's IT exports at this time amount to $283 billion annually. For the financial year 2025, India's IT exports to the US amounted to $224 billion. So a lion's share, an overwhelming share of India's IT exports go to the United States. India's top IT firms, we're talking about Tata Consultancy Services, Wipro, HCL, and Infosys, have derive about 60% of their annual revenue from exports to the United States alone. So imagine what tariffs could actually do in that regard. Now, problem number one in this regard is that there is an existing flat growth of under 5% that these firms have actually enjoyed, or rather suffered, in the financial year 25. So growth is already slow in India's IT export sector. Problem number two, the threat of tariffs on India's IT exports is practically unthinkable, because growth is already slow, and that's why there have been shockwaves going through Bengaluru at this point of time, and Karnataka at large. Problem number three, the threat of H-1B visa restrictions. Peter Navarro, very influential advisors to the White House, have been trying to drum up the idea that there needs to be a crackdown on H-1B visas. If tariffs are imposed on IT exports, I've been speaking to people here in Bengaluru, it means that operational costs and profit margins could be impacted drastically and very, very soon. The impact will be very soon. The tariff on Indian IT exports would basically amount to double taxation, because remember that companies based here, like Infosys and others, pay taxes in the United States. So a tariff would mean double taxation, and therefore they see this Trump-Modi Dosti, or this brief reprieve, as a possible indicator of a return to normalcy and predictability, where IT business can function as it did before. The big questions I'm asking, therefore, and remember, there are very many big questions. A handshake, kind words between Trump and Modi, in our view, require cautious optimism, because these words come in the wake of an absolute combative roller coaster of hostility from the United States that have taken India-US relations to a historic low. So the questions I'm asking on India Matters from Bengaluru today: will Trump cut back the 50% tariffs soon? Remember, the 50% tariffs is imposed. Do these kind words, my good friend Modi, mean that those tariffs will evaporate? Number two, is the India-US trade deal finally in sight? Both leaders have indicated that it is. Has India successfully resisted a combative Trump? Does this defreeze mean that they're back to being, good friends, and Modi and Trump will be visiting each other very soon? Is this the end of the US-India hostilities currently? Or is it a question of picture abhi baki hai? It continues to be a wait and watch as far as India is concerned. And finally, like I said, since I'm here in Bengaluru, is this a breather for infotech, for IT and software exports as far as tariffs and H-1B is concerned? Or is that too soon to call?